talk about the things we wanted to do, right? Live action opening, like the old ones, playing with the text, the narrator, all these kind of the list of things we knew we wanted to do. On that list was voice talent, and we knew Jim was locked in because he's Pooh and Tigger and will be until the end of time because he's brilliant at it. And but we felt like there were some of the supporting characters, namely Rabbit and Owl, that we felt could be funnier. We felt like we could mine them for more humor. And it started with the voice acting and getting the right actor in there. And Steve, like your first list had Craig Ferguson, Tom Kenny right at the top. And we knew, like with Al, yeah, he's kind of a blowhard, and Craig's played that character in the past on the Drew Carey show. But he's also got like kind of a manic, just insane kind of quality to him that we felt would be really fun to bring to Al. And so when we got him on board and started recording some of those early scenes, I think we knew that this Owl was going to be really different. And yes, he's still a blowhard and a know-it-all, but he's also just kind of unhinged. And John Lasseter kept referring to these characters as the characters from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. He just felt like this is just like an animated version of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And yeah, you're kind of right. They're all a little bit crazy in their own way. They're sweet and they're innocent and naive, but they're also just a little off. And Craig brought that. And then Tom Kenny. What's amazing about him was, he does the voice of SpongeBob, among a million other voices. And we'd worked with him on Numbers in the Groove, Meet the Robinsons, so we kind of knew him. And what he brought to Rabbit was a little warmth. Like, that character was never really all that warm, When we would talk about people's recollections of that character as children, it was never... nobody ever looked back warmly on that character. He's just kind of persnickety and kind of, he's always mad at Pooh and this and that. So Tom kind of brought a warmth to him because no matter how harsh you rate the line, he's going to deliver it in such a way that makes it feel real and warm as opposed to kind of harsh. And both of those guys, Craig Ferguson and Tom Kenny, are brilliant improvisation actors, and I think that's one of the characteristics we look for in actors is, yes, they can do what's on the page, but then we let them just play around and come up with ad-libs, and Jim's brilliant at that too, because he's been doing these characters forever, so he can just, he can have conversations between Pooh and Tigger without any script. I mean, he can just kind of go for, hours. You have to go. And the Baxton song, we knew we wanted... because it's, Eeyore has the chalkboard on his butt, we thought, okay, it might be kind of fun if this whole thing is drawn like it's, done in chalk. And so we had that, and we did an early pass on the storyboards, and then basically just turned to Eric and said, we barely asked him to do anything. We just said, why don't you just punch up some gags? Mm-hmm. They reboarded the whole thing and came up with an idea how it's going to look, and he really kind of owned that sequence, and we loved it, and just kind of let it. What's fun about animated musicals, and what's fun about 2D, that you can switch up styles, and it doesn't throw the audience too much. Like if you did that in a live action movie, it'd be kind of jarring, or even in a CG movie, I would say it'd be kind of jarring. But in 2D, somehow it gives you the license to do that, and we did it in Princess and the Frog with the Facilier's song. We kind of changed it up and did a real kind of graphic sequence, and for this one, we felt like the Baxton would be perfect for some different kind of treatment, some other way to visualize the characters, and the chalk was perfect for that.
And what's great about the level of talent that we have here in the studio is, as the movies go through production, you're constantly looking to what the next department that gets the movie, and you want to just encourage everybody to push and plus and add gags and find new places to open up entertainment. Well, certainly these stories are all about you. Overall, they're all about friendship, because these stories are about this small group of characters that all live in the same neighborhood ultimately, and they're connected, and it's about how they interact with each other all the time. So usually you're going to hit some kind of note about friendship, but in particular in this film, we talked about the notion of what are you willing to give up for your friends, what are you willing to sacrifice, who makes a sacrifice at the end of the film for one of his friends. Tigger, in the middle of the film, makes a sacrifice, kind of is willing to set aside the mantle of being the only one to let somebody else in to be, to team up with. It's not really overt. We don't want to hit everybody over the head with that kind of theme. It's there very subtly, just as an undercurrent. But that was certainly something we talked about as kind of an overall theme for the film in a very light way.